So do you still think Christianity is just post-Ragnarok Norse mythology? Nah, come on, we're just having fun here. However, I do have more thoughts on Christianity being pre-Ragnarok Norse mythology. But wait, does this have anything to do with your theory that the Garden of Eden is actually Idun's orchard and that's why Adam and Eve lived to be over 1,000 years old? Right, because of that one myth where Loki abducts Idun and all the gods grow old and weak because they don't have access to her apples anymore, which are the source of their youth and vigor. Still sticking with the idea that Loki never actually gave her back, let all the gods kick the bucket, and then rewrote history to pretend that he'd been the one and only god. No. Not every god. Okay, so who is he keeping around? Thor? No, he's too much of a threat. But I do believe that he's mocking the god of thunder by conflating him and his wife Sif within the biblical character of Samson, right? It's clearly reworking the myth where Loki cuts off Sif's characteristic golden hair, which pissed Thor off to the high heavens. So he's mocking the god of strength by pretending that all of his power comes from his hairdo. So he's just slandering gods? Why? Are you serious? That's practically the only thing Loki does in the myths. He ruins Aegir's feast by calling Tyr a cuck. It's funny to him. Okay, so who else is he keeping around? Odin? For a time, before manipulating him and brainwashing him through trickery and magic, think like King Theoden in The Lord of the Rings, he would really mess with the king of the gods by putting him through a perversion of his own myth on the world stage so that everyone knows him not as the conqueror, the god of war that he was, but as a servant of peace. No, you don't mean Jesus. His magic is completely within Odin's wheelhouse, who is a god of magic after all, and where Odin hanged from a tree in order to gain knowledge and power, Jesus instead hung from a tree or a cross, but for the betterment of Odin's lessers, mankind, his creation. I mean, not to mention him rebranding Odin's wife, Freya, goddess of fertility, as a prostitute. But there's still one big problem. Ragnarok is still destined to happen and will be set in motion if Loki allows Baldur to perish. So he's got no choice but to keep him alive, locked away somewhere. Perhaps even underground, ironically suffering the same punishment that Loki himself was supposed to endure after eliminating Baldur. Baldur is the god of light. Now, remind me whose name literally translates to Lightbringer? Lucifer. When Jesus was tempted by him in the desert, that was just a son desperately trying to break Loki's spell and bring his father back. Right. Loki's only choice is to keep Baldur captive and in the meantime discredit and slander him so that even if Ragnarok somehow does come to pass, the army of heaven, aka the Einherjar, will be on Loki's side. And furthermore, even if Baldur succeeds in fulfilling the prophecy and being resurrected as a monotheistic god, everyone will hate him.